Good evening. I'm coming to you from my study, and I just wanted to mention a quick summary of the message I'll be giving tomorrow. Our church is moving into a full week of time of special prayer, fasting, time of listening. What might God be wanting to say to us individually and as a church? And I felt led to open up the week of prayer and fasting by talking about a very unique passage in the gospel, this time in the Gospel of Mark. It's a very unique passage in the life of Jesus. You know, we often think of him as being so tender and calm, caring, sensible, welcoming, all those good kind of interpersonal characteristics of Jesus. But this particular passage in Mark 11:15 to 17 talks about him cleaning house, cleaning out the house of prayer, the temple in Jerusalem. And we're thinking, whoa, what would get him so enraged? He is enraged. And but is this the Jesus we know? Well, it is because it's recorded. In fact, it's recorded twice. Gospel of John has him clearing out the temple in John 2. And then at the end of his ministry, he again clears out the temple. And what would lead him to do that? Well, the temple is obviously the center of where the Jews and other nations are to be seeking God. And when Jesus arrives there, what he discovers, in fact, is that the courtyard of the Gentiles, this is the area where non Jews are allowed to come to seek the true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That area is not calm, it's not a place for prayer or meditation or focus. It's cacophony. It's all sorts of chaos. It's a zoo because they're in that area. There are people selling animals. They're selling sheep for sacrifice. They're selling doves and pigeons. They're also having to change money because the temple has its own unique financial system. And so all these people coming, all these pilgrims coming from different countries or different regions have to have their money changed. And so what's happening is this place that's supposed to be for the non-Jew a place of quiet and gathering and meditation before the true God has become, as I said, literally a zoo. There's noise. There's the animals are making noise. The people are making noise. So Christ, in what we call today, he loses it. Now he's in control. He's in control, but he allows this rage and he channels it over the fact that here are these non-Jews trying to get in touch with the real God, and they're being pushed away. They're being um, défendu. They're not able to get at the real God, and so he just lets all of these business people have it, pushes over their tables, drives out the animals. He is worked up, and he quotes from the Old Testament, "My house is to be a house of prayer for all the nations." And just a few days later, Jesus is arrested. He's illegally tried. He's obviously beaten and then crucified. So in a few days, he literally will be dying for the whole world. He's the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. And so already 3, 4 days before, here he is clearing out the temple, saying, "This is to be a place of prayer for all the nations, not just the Jewish people." And we also discover, and this is equally as bad, that this whole system is abusing the pilgrims. These business people are charging exorbitant rates for the animals that are going to be sacrificed. They're charging high rates to change the different types of money into the temple money. And worse yet, the whole fraudulent system is being run by the high priest at the time, uh, or one of the high priests, who is Anne, and his family is running this whole system. So here's the supposedly spiritual high priest involved in abusing the thousands and thousands of pilgrims that come to the temple every year. And lastly, historians have revealed that what was going on is people were also starting to use the courtyard of the Gentiles as a shortcut from eastern Jerusalem to go over to the west and head to the Mount of Olives. And the shortest way was through the temple, and of course, through the areas where the non Jews were supposed to have their area of worship and meditation and listening to God and His Word. So, all of these things combined, when Christ shows up, He has a righteous anger, and I would even say rage, and He rightfully turns the whole thing over and communicates that in the long run, God needs to be open to everyone. And we should never be preventing others from coming to Him by our actions, our attitudes, our disdain for them. We're all on that equal ground before Christ, and He invites all peoples to come.